Hi friends, this is The Electronics and I am Safi. Today we are talking to Arnab Mitra, CEO, DigiBoxx. Arnab, welcome to The Electronics interview.
Thank you so much, Safi.
My first question to you is, DigiBoxx, as your company projects it, is the first of its kind digital asset management platform in India. Before we discuss the product, tell us how it all started. Where did the spark come from? Who all got involved to make this platform happen?
Sure. It's actually a very interesting question. And every time I think about it, I feel really great because I think we just chanced upon a possibility, right? And most of the cases, it starts with trying to solve a problem. And we actually had a genuine problem. So I'm also an entrepreneur who runs a couple of other businesses. And my partners are as well, right? So what happened was, in our gamut of things, we have almost 700 people working across the group companies all over the country, over 14 offices. It happened so that the lockdown was really brought down onto the world, without any notice. And some of our offices, which are like in the farthest sides of the country, they didn't really follow the weekly backup process, etc., etc. So the obvious happened. We needed a file which we needed so badly, and we didn't find it. Okay, and the directors were actually all sitting together, like we would possibly have those video conversations in the evening time, once a month or like fortnightly. We were actually discussing a possibility of us building a solution which would actually allow multiple people to have access to all files under moderation, and they don't really have to back up files. Which essentially meant that the files were always on cloud. And because I have an engineering background, I'm also a little tech savvy, in that way. So I said, okay, you know what, we could build something like this. And that is really how DigiBoxx started. And of course, before starting a business, it was a figment of an imagination. But, when you start imagining, you start thinking, you start designing, you kind of keep on delving into the depth of it. And we just started realizing that we have got, Sophie, and you run a digital, you will run a magazine and a digital channel, and you probably would have this data point by your fingertips. We've got 700 million internet users in the country. And we are surviving entirely depending on the American and the European infrastructures, which is extremely, extremely unbelievable, right? Because we always felt that we must be having somebody who possibly had thought that 700 million people with 900 million phones, 500 million smartphones, creating content. I don't know or not, every year there's a 24 zettabyte of digital data that Indians produce by the means of their photographs, videos, and zettabyte, right? Almost 5 universe can come in. That's how big zettabyte is, right? So 24 zettabyte of data being created year on year, 700 million people, 500 million smartphone, biggest network provider, Geo, and so on and so forth. We do not have a single infrastructure which was owned by Indians. So tomorrow, if because of whatever geopolitical issues, some other country can decide to switch us off. And that is something that was a revelation for a lot of us. So what happens is sometimes, DigiBoxx is a business which intuitively sound so, right, that you feel that there must be something like this. And kind of got into researching about it, knowing more about it. And we realized that there isn't any. And that is how DigiBoxx was born. The name itself, we try to keep it simple so anybody understands the digital box where you store all your files. The classy name is digital asset management.
Yes, this is what I want to ask is for the viewers in general. If you may tell us, like, what do we exactly understand by digital asset management platform? Like, it sounds very technical. And also, when you say that DigiBoxx is first of its kind, from India, what do you actually say? What do you actually intend to say with this? Why is it first of its kind?
So I'll take the digital asset management question first. What is the digital asset management? Anything that is created digitally or stored digitally is an asset, which is digital asset, right? And which basically means your photographs, your files, your videos, your PowerPoints, your PDFs, anything, your medical files, all of them, they are supposed to be stored either on a physical hard drive or on your computer or on your phone, or they are supposed to be kept on a digital location which you can access. So that's what a digital asset management platform is. In reality, if we have to just use a more globally accepted term or more generic term, I think it's going to be public cloud, which essentially mean we're a cloud. It's like, it's like public taxis. It's like anything where you can just pay a rent and avail it, but you don't really own it. So we are a public cloud, which means we have a cloud service where the people of the country can pay some money and rent it out whenever they need it, or for whatever duration they need it. So that's what we are. Yeah. And now when we say that, we are, India's first digital asset management platform, what we essentially mean is that, there are not a single organization which is in the business of digital asset management stroke public cloud, which is owned by Indians who follow the Indian and the law of the land, which are entirely focused towards the nation and the nation's challenges and the people and their way of storing, saving data. Just because you asked me this question, we actually before even starting the business, we did a very detailed research. And, you'd be surprised to know that people didn't even care about data. When we are, and there were 1,400 respondents on that research that we did, pan-India, multiple cities, etc. We asked people about data. They said, oh, they don't really think of data, because if you see the models that is around us, you have a phone, therefore you have a cloud allegiance. You have a specific type of mail client that you use, you get certain kind of storage. So literally, we have been arm twisted in using some of the other cloud storage without us even realizing it, right? And then comes May 2021, when then somebody is actually telling you that now you only have 15 GB storage for you to save all your files, right? Which includes your photograph, your mails, and then it will be like a huge bill coming towards us without us even opting for it, because we would not even have a choice. So as directors and the people of the country, we felt that we don't want people of the country to not have an option. What if we could provide them with an option and something that is pretty much at par in terms of what a public cloud should do? And this is just a beginning. Honestly, we have like great plans to make this far more sophisticated than what it is today.
In terms of services, if we may understand, like what all services are you offering to people who are on your platform? Is it free? Is it paid? Is there a hybrid model? How you intend to actually monetize? After all, it's a business.
Right. So we actually have multiple different types of plans, on the platform. We are providing 20 gigabyte of space for free. So anybody who wants to register and actually wants to use our services for free, or actually believes that they have got lesser requirement of storage, we are providing that service. And we are also providing this service in 8 languages, which by our research, we realize these are the people who are maybe digitally little ahead than rest of the others, or maybe they're a little more tech savvy when it comes to their association of business, etc., etc. So we kind of, are going by those languages, which will, I think, is the entry level that we have. And thereafter, I think we have got many packages starting from 100 gigs, moving up to 2 terabyte for retail users. And then we have small, medium business packages where you can have a certain number of your employees use the platform for a certain amount of storage. I think it starts from 500 GB and it goes up to, I think, 25 terabyte. And then we have enterprise versions. The best thing about our product is we have built in a platform where I can actually come to the electronics as, like your company's infrastructure. And if you have a server, I can actually run my software in your server. And which in a lot of cases, a lot of PSUs actually think that's a great thing, because they want to control their information, control their data, but they also want to use the software that DigiBoxx is. So primarily, if I have to talk about the platform, I think it's intuitively very, very simple. What we have done is we have given you very easy file and folder structures for you to upload your files. If you're an individual, you'd never have to actually download your files. You can actually share your file by giving an email access to somebody. You can also kind of collaborate with somebody external on a chat platform, which is just assigned along with the product, along with your asset. Similarly, if you are a corporate or an SMB or a PSU, you can actually also control the employees, the kind of access, the files, or the kind of access you want to give to people. Mm-hmm. If there are some files that you want everybody to have access, you can actually create those. And the history of the entire organization is pretty much saved. So we also solved our own problem, which we started this business for.
Got it.
Yeah.
What's the current scenario in terms of data security in India? When we talk of data localization, what we as users should understand, is it like happening with is it happening with only Indian companies, or are foreign platforms also keeping data here locally in India?
Yeah. So as you would know, there are some direct. We don't really have a data protection bill as yet, right? There is a proposed DPB which has come up in the Parliament, and that has not been passed as yet. So we don't really have a data protection bill in the country. However, RBI has given some guidelines to specifically financial institutions of the country, telling them that, you know what, no transactional information or no specific some type of information can go out of the country, right? These are the two directives we are surviving with. Having said that, now these two directives are also given to the international companies as well. That is why a lot of the biggies have actually created their own data centers in the country. But I mean, this is my own belief, and I don't really want to quote anybody, but they are still a company which is owned by some other country and some other organization which is based out of another country. So we don't know what their internal dealings are. And it's very difficult for anybody to even say it's right or wrong, and I don't know, right? So we don't know where the data points are. I mean, we don't know where our informations are really. But I think the future can be a little different, and that is exactly what we want to provide. We are working with only Indian-owned data centers. So our storage, and currently we don't have our own data center. We're working with 3 data centers across the country, one in South, one in Center India, and one in North India. We kind of got a diverse way of connecting the entire thing. Our plan is to go to 5 locations so that we can have an equal penetration in terms of our data storage and etc. And they are all Ministry of Electronics and Telecom certified data centers, which, by the way, is a mandatory certificate that even the biggies have to take to have a data center in the country. So then I would like to believe we are as secured as the biggies, but we are just, kind of roaming in an infrastructure which is entirely owned by Indians, and therefore they have to follow the law of the land.
All right. In terms of numbers, if you may share, how is the trajectory of growth in terms of people enrolling, and what is company's ambition in terms of, you must be having certain goals for the short run and the long run?
Sure. So, honestly, I think the trajectory is more than positive for us. We have crossed almost, 500,000 user base who are, who have already registered with us, and we should be touching 1 million in next couple of weeks, maybe a month tops. So that's really where we are. In terms of our plan of action, what we understand is that there is a lot of demand in the regional language space. So we are actually going about launching DigiBoxx in local markets. We started with Tamil Nadu. We're actually moving to Karnataka, and then we will go to our 6 other states where we essentially have our the language preferences, and we want to work with the local authorities over there, ensuring that we get proper acceptance, and we want to bolster our path a little more organically than really inorganic marketing. So you will be surprised to know that we haven't really done even 1 rupee worth of marketing as yet. It is entirely word of mouth, and we truly believed, as the directors of the organization, we believe that there is a merit in us evaluating the business before we even start going after either investments or in terms of raising money to go out and do marketing. We don't really believe in spray and pray, so we are keeping it absolutely organic, and this is what we have achieved. In terms of our goal, I think the dream is that every internet user in the country must have a DigiBoxx account, right? Because they need to. Because there's nobody else who's providing this service other than us. But we believe that in the next couple of years' time, we will be able to at least reach 10 million paid registered customers for us, which will essentially mean almost 50 odd million people using DigiBoxx at their own pace.
At the Electronics Week, keenly observe the trends, and because as our readers and viewers are people who are leaders and decision makers in their respective domains, can you share what is the future of software as a service products as you read in between the lines? Are we going to have more exciting things coming out of India?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's going to be a politically correct answer, but I'll try to give a one that I feel. I think we have been great at emulating services that is kind of provided in multiple other countries, and we have done a decently okay job in emulating those businesses. Um, for us to make it a lot more exciting, I think we'll have to look deep inside us as a country, India and Indians, and see what are our needs, and maybe we'll have to look at innovating and making products which are deeply needed by people in this country. And I'm no way I'm claiming that even DigiBoxx is one of them, right? So, but because you asked a more futuristic question, and as an entrepreneur who keeps keen interest in tech ventures and also believe that this country has great potential, I think it's only going to happen when we stop looking outside and start looking inside and see what are our real challenges, right? And can we have a technical solution to the real challenges? Because only then I feel exciting new things are going to happen. As of now, we're just doing whatever others have done already.
All right. It was a pleasure talking to you, Arnab. Thank you so much for talking to the electronics.
Thank you so much, Safi, to have time and interview me. And I hope you got the answers that you seek.
Yeah. Viewers, this is all we have in this episode of the Electronics Interview. Please stay connected to our digital platforms for more of content. Thanks for watching.